So I'm in Edinburgh. I'm in Holyrood Park, which is a park right in the centre of Edinburgh. It's like its own little national park, area of wilderness, right in the heart of the city. And it's built on this core of volcanic rock. So this is the corpse, the remains of an extinct volcano. Now in this tour, we're currently in the northwestern corner of Holyrood Park, but I'm going to start the tour in the southeastern corner, right on the other edge. And we're going to take a walk up the steepest part, the steepest footpath, up to the top peak right there, which is Arthur's Seat. And we're going to see some spectacular views over this beautiful city of Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland. And we'll also be looking at some of the features that we see on the way, some of the locks, where some of the water goes around this park. So join me on this tour as we explore Holyrood Park in Edinburgh and Arthur's Seat. So this is Holyrood Park, and this is another place you might want to choose to do your field work. Now Holyrood Park is it's a very large area within Edinburgh. It's almost like its own little national park within the city's boundaries, and it's built around this lump of volcanic rock. So just like the castle, this is the core of an extinct volcano, and there's many different features that you can look at here. So I'm going to be really ambitious today, and I'm going to try and go up right over there into what's known as Arthur's Seat, the peak of this area. But you might also want to go to this area here, which is Salisbury Crag, which is not quite as high and more manageable. There's the area in between, which I think you can walk right through, which is a little bit of a slope, but probably easier for you to manage. Or there's even these footpaths which go right around the edge, so you can see these roads going right around here. And then behind us, just where we came in, this is the east entrance to Holyrood Park. There's footpaths which go right around the edge here, and we're sort of border on the houses. So there's lots of different areas here. So if you're thinking, if you're sampling, you probably don't want to think about this whole area. You want to break it down. What area are you going to look at? Maybe you want to look at a few areas. So I'm going to head up to Arthur's Seat and take a few videos and photos on the way to show you what it's like. And yeah, so this could be one of your sites. This is Holyrood Park. So I've already come a little way up. It is quite steep. I'm out of breath, but I'm not very fit. I just want to show you you get a better view now of what this area is like. So you've got Salisbury Crag here behind me, just up there. That's Arthur's Seat. I'm going to go up this footpath, one of these footpaths here, and regret my life choices. And you can just see that middle route through here. So this is kind of a much easier route to manage as well. And you can already see we're getting spectacular views over Edinburgh and over the Port of Leith and over the Firth of Forth as well. I can just only imagine what the views are going to be like at the top. So this is Holyrood Park, which you could choose as one of your sites. Again, we've got Arthur's Seat, Salisbury Crag, and this area in between. So the hill has different difficulty settings. So there's lots of different paths you can take up to get to Arthur's Seat. I've chosen the hardest difficulty setting, up the middle with smoke. And I just wanted to show you what this footpath is like, so you can make an informed decision how you're going to get up here. So this footpath it's like a staircase of kind of uneven rocks. It's quite difficult going. It is very steep. I keep meeting lots of big groups of tourists coming down the opposite direction, so I think people seem to use this one for coming down rather than going up. But it seems all right. I thought it was going to be harder when I looked at it. It's quite hard on the legs. It's making me out of breath. It's getting the heart rate up. It's good exercise. But yeah, if you do have difficulty walking, this isn't the path for you. So yeah, just to give you some idea of what this is like. So I just stopped here because just by my feet here you can see this kind of break in the steps, and you'll see these all the way up this footpath. So these are just kind of little drainage channels. So obviously when it rains a lot up here, because it's so steep, the water can gather really quickly and run off really, really fast. And what they don't want, because unless you give the water an alternative path, it'll choose the easiest path, which will be the footpath. So what they're doing here, these drainage channels just allow the water to cross the footpath and go down the slope. So it saves this footpath from erosion and makes it much safer for people walking by. But again, we get some spectacular views up here. We've got Edinburgh Castle just over there. You can just see the 3 bridges over the Firth and Forth. We can see the old blue gas storage unit over there in Granton, and then the Port of Leith over there. We can see Easter Road, the home of Hibernian. I think it's Hibernian, sorry if I've got that wrong. Football club over there, and then the beautiful estuary, the Firth of the Forth, and the islands and things in there, and looking across to north of Scotland. So let's continue our way to the top. So we're approaching the top now, and we've kind of walked around the hill a little bit. This path goes around the hill, and we're looking kind of towards the south east of Edinburgh now. You can just see a massive golf course behind me, and some of the kind of more suburban areas, which contrast very sharply with the old and the new town kind of architecture over there. And this is kind of hopefully this last bit of footpaths. And you can just see down adjacent to this footpath here is this drainage channel that's been eroded out, and then this channel behind me carved out, which flows over the edge here. It looks a bit like that vegetation there. This vegetation here is all blackened. It looks like, I wonder if they'd had a fire here last summer. It's burned down that vegetation. You can see a lot of black, charred out sort of moorland area there. So just join me as we do these last stretch and try and concentrate and look where I'm going, because it's quite treacherous underfoot. These rocks are not very even steps. So you have to look what you're doing. It'd be very easy to roll your ankle. Ideally you want walking boots, not trainers like I've got on. You're gonna see this really nice sort of area. You can see there's another kind of drainage channel. See the water coming down the hill here, flowing down here. Another drainage channel this side of the footpath. You see here where kind of it's exposed rock, so they haven't been able to put these steps in. We're getting close to the edge, to the top now, hopefully. I am very tired, my legs hurt, my thighs hurt, my hamstrings hurt. As my stepdad would say, you sleep well tonight. Oh, you can see just big group up ahead, so just be able to see the peak. As always, when you're climbing hills like this, there's always a little bit more. You get over to what you think is the top, and there's more. So here I am very close to the summit of Arthur's Seat. I'm not quite at the top, I've just dropped down because there's a lot of tourists up there. There's a lot of people trying to get around and take photos. But the summit is just over there behind me, just out of view. Now it's a bit of a scramble to get up to this bit. It's very steep. You want to pick your path very carefully. And when you do get to the top, because it's volcanic rock, there's a lot of footfall. Those rocks are quite smooth, so it can be quite slippy. So just be careful with your footing. You get some really spectacular views over here of Edinburgh and out into Leith and the Firth of Forth. Full 360 panoramics. And sorry you can't see it on this video. What I'll try and do is drop in one of my photos into this video for you to look at for a little bit. That'll be higher resolution anyway, so it'll be better for you. But yeah, this is it. This is the peak of Arthur's Seat. We are stood on the core of a dead volcano in this middle of this capital city. It's just wonderful. I can't describe to you how amazing Edinburgh is as a city. And what it has, the waters of Leith, which we're walking around in my other video, and this Holyrood Park and Arthur's Seat. So yeah, I'm gonna just drop down, maybe I'll have a look at some of the locks in this area as well before heading out. So I'm making my descent down from Arthur's Seat in Holyrood Park, and just on the right there you can see this lock. To me it looks quite managed, like the shape of it looks like it's been heavily managed, but I imagine this was a feature which was left behind after the last ice age, so when a lot of this area was covered in ice sheet and glaciers, that would have been eroded underneath the bed of that ice, and as that ice melted it left this lake behind. I'm not going to head down there to have a closer look, because it looks heavily managed. It's not very interesting to me, and if I go that way I'm going to be miles out of my way. I'm going to be walking for a couple of hours around the edge of Holyrood Park to get back to where I need to be. So I'm going to head over this way onto the main footpaths to get back into the centre of Edinburgh. So I'm continuing my descent down Holyrood Park, Arthur's Seat, and just down this bit next to a kind of really popular footpath to the left. This bit here you can see where, when there's been heavy rains, not quite so much at the moment, the ground is all desiccated and cracked, but when it's been raining you can see actually these flow paths down here where the water's come around and eroded out these little gullies and tracks, and you can see the material deposited in the bottom of those. So yeah, there's evidence here that there's water flowing. There's no rivers or anything down these slopes, but you can obviously see when the rain's heavy enough you do get some quite considerable flows, concentrating particularly in this area and carving out these sort of series of channels that's coming down here. You can see a particularly deep one here on the left, actually, kind of as the flow is concentrating you can see a lot of material deposited in the bottom of it. I'm very excited. I found some water. Here's a little stream, so it just goes under the footpath here. There's a pipe just to manage this, so let's just see where this goes. So it's quite handy, this stream, they've managed to sort of divert this away from the main footpath. And it's just running over here. It's quite overgrown, you don't really get to see, there's not a lot of water in it. It's not a big feature by any stretch, but it is nice to see some water coming down here. And it's pretty much dry here as well. Well, that's my excitement over. We found a stream and the water's disappeared. Ah well. Oh no, hang on. It's just gone underground for a little bit. It seems to be. Oh, here we go. We can just see here, it's seeping up. So obviously it's come down here, it's gone underground, and there's a little spring here. You can just see the water bubbling up from underneath the surface, and then it begins to flow around here. So we'll just step over it at this point. I say it's not a big stream, you can step over it. Oh, it's nice. You just hear the trickling of the water here. It is a nice sound. I'm much happier when I'm next to water. But yeah, it seems to go around here. There was another lock around here. We're pretty much at the base now of Holyrood Park. This goes around, obviously it goes into this lock over here, which is a different one to we saw earlier. There's a second lock down there. Looks very similar. But yeah, we're now at the bottom. Found some water. I'm very happy. I'm going to go back to my hotel and have a nap. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this tour of Holyrood Park. Remember, like, subscribe, all that nonsense, and join me for future tours.